The stash is back, and now on a tank. Yo, what's up everyone? Kyrios here, and today we're going to go over the Hot Spring Cherino review. And funny enough, has a use case, not right now, but later on, and we'll go over that when we go over the abilities and what she's good at. And I do want to say just quickly, if you are a fan of the stash, you pull the stash. That's what you got to do. And you got to do that, right? Anyways, chapters are down below. If you do like this video, hit that like and subscribe. I do appreciate you. Come join me on my twitch.tv channel. Come join us in the Discord. And let's get started. All right, let's get this review started like we typically do. Let's start on the right-hand side. She is an explosive type with a heavy armor type, but she is a tactical support backliner, so her armor type doesn't really matter. She is red winter, so we do probably have a ton of red winter resources because there's not a lot of students for it. So that is one use case for her pull. Her affinity is positive for urban, neutral to outdoors, and terrible for indoors, which kind of sets her up for chitin, which is one of the better ones she is good at. She is a handgun, so she does have that hat, hairpin, and watch, so she gets that crit damage and a little bit more HP and a little bit more attack. Scrolling on down to the stats, we're gonna go ahead and 5-star her. We're not gonna unique equipment her, and then this all looks good to me. 3855 attack, not too bad actually, really not too bad. If sharing that attack to some of your other teammates in the field. 2900 doesn't matter. HP, evasion, none of this really matters. Everything else is fine. Critical rate is pretty good with that T6 watch on there, right? So that is looking pretty juicy. Let's move on down to the skills. And her bread and butter is that EX skill. That EX skill is a 6 cost, just making sure it doesn't collapse on me. She enters the battlefield for 50 seconds, so she becomes 5 students. Essentially, there's now 5 students on the battlefield. Increases attack by 17.1%, duration 50 seconds. Every 3 normal attacks, Purge Kun number 1 will activate purge them all, doing 216% damage to the targeted enemy, and then extra 324% damage to the targeted enemy in a conal area behind them. This is actually pretty good. This is a decent amount of damage, given that you can do a 6 cost, maybe, 2-3 times a fight, if you're doing a raid boss, and then that frees up all your other time for all your other characters. So there is something to be said about this EX specifically, and the fact that she is explosive. Normal skill every 15 seconds deals 259% damage to enemies in a circular area. Pretty good. I like that 15 seconds. That's pretty darn good. Increases attack by 26%, passive skill, and her sub skill increases crit damage. That's great because you always want to have someone that has crit damage. And if you can't bring Akko, you can't bring Hibiki, or maybe there's not a reason to bring either of those two, you do want to always have someone that's bringing that crit damage to your allies. Once again, using that red winter, which we probably have a ton of. Not a big fan that it's using Aether shards, because everyone uses Aether shards, I feel like. Wolf's eggs, depending on the characters you've pulled, you might have a lot of these from previous events. Moving on to the unique equipment, the Chiska. I don't know how to pronounce that. We're just gonna move on from that one. Increases urban affinity to SS, very nice, and increases attack further by another 454. That is pretty good. Let's move on to what she's good at, and surprisingly, she does have her use cases. So let's move on over. All right, for raids, she's going to be really good in Chitin and Hero Nimbus. Now, you can bring her in. She's going to do a lot of damage, and she'll probably do about the same amount of damage that a Kibiki would do, so it's obviously worth it. Now, for Chicken, Shirokuru, and Bena and Cheese, not so good, right, because of that explosive type of damage. General content, she's going to be okay in campaigns, right? You're not going to get the most use case out of her by the time you get her on the battlefield, but she's going to be pretty good. Bounties, not so much. Commissions, she will definitely help you out there. And PvP, unless you're being extremely trolly and you get the tank out and it works, I don't know. Overall, this is how I would build her. EX the sub skill to normal to passive. An example build would be 5, 7, 7, 10. Her positives is she's a freaking tank. She has a crit damage buff, and she's just easy damage. The problem I have with her is that it's a very crowded space on the right-hand side between Hibiki, Akko, and a bunch of other characters that you could possibly use. So depending on when we get to insane mode, she may or may not have a use case. All right, guys, there you have it. So for my final rating, this one's a little difficult, but remember, she is not a limited character, so you can get her on the regular banner, which you always want to try and spook non-limiteds with the amount of limits we get, and it's about to be a very crucial time coming up forward. So my final review is she does get a 2 out of 5 on a pull rating, mainly because you'll probably spook her at some point, and you really, in my opinion, don't need her until insane mode, Kyton, and maybe a few others, but that's going to be the main use case right there, doing that second team Kyton once we get to insane mode. But hopefully you could pick her up before then when you're pulling for other banners. So that's what I got. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you still pulling? Or do you plan on pulling? Did I change your mind? Do you think my rating was off? Let me know. Once again, come hit us up in the Discord. Hit that like and subscribe. I do appreciate you. And I will see you on the next video. Fist bump from me to you.